Good afternoon, folks. Big Bo here with another great and affordable Class C motorhome value from Parkway RV Center. Folks, it's been several years since I've had one of these. These are very rare. They only made these for a few years. This particular one we're looking at today is a 1993 Callista Cove by Carriage, the same manufacturer that builds the $100,000+ fifth wheels. Only builds high quality RVs, and for a few years they made a Class C motorhome back in the early to mid 90s. Very collectible, actually. Very well built. There's nothing on the market. I don't even think today they make a Class C that was built as good as these Carriages were back in the 90s. This is a 27 270 Callista Cove. It's 28 feet long. It's got 55,700 some odd miles. Folks, interesting story. This is a local unit. A couple bought this thing back in 1995 from the original owner. So it's a two owner. You might as well call it a one owner because the same couple has owned it since 1995. And they're well into their 80s now. And they're a local couple out of Chickamauga, Georgia, which is a little town about 20 minutes from us. And what happened is they're getting too old to live by themselves, and their family is putting them in assisted living. Kind of sad. But their family came to us and asked us if we would sell their motorhome for them. As a matter of fact, my wife is a real estate agent. She even listed their house for sale. So this is their motorhome. This is a 1993 Callista Cove, 28 feet long, beautiful condition. Folks, you're going to look at a motorhome 15 years newer that won't look as good as this 93 model does. 4K Onan generator, runs perfectly. It's got practically, they look like new Michelin tires. The way these things are built, folks, I'm going to show you a few things. This is all fiberglass, including a low maintenance fiberglass roof. Look how everything overlaps right here. No straight edges. The cab over has no windows in it, so there's very little sealing you have to do, very little worries about leaks that you have to worry about because there's no straight edges. Even the fiberglass roof overlaps. The fiberglass behind the cab doesn't stop right here like the cheaper ones do. It goes on around. For example, look at this cheaper brand right here. Look how the straight edges are. This doesn't have that. These things back in 1993 were about 15 grand higher than your average Coachmen, your average Fleetwood Class C, and they basically price themselves out of a market. But it's like the old saying goes, you get what you paid for. Now, most 93 Coachmens and Fleetwoods are falling to pieces. This Cove has plenty of years of life left to it. Look at the back of this thing, folks. It's not been backed into anything. Again, look how that fiberglass is built going to the back of it. All right, this is how this Cove is built. Overlapping, all fiberglass cap, overlapping roof. This cheaper brand, look right here. That's going to cause leaks if you don't service it. This one won't. Got two little windows in the back, got a 5,000-pound hitch on the back. It's got, of course, the legendary 7.5 liter 460 cubic inch V8 that Ford used for decades with only 55,000 miles. Onan generator, runs perfectly. The striping and finish on this motorhome, they had a shed they kept this under, and it really shows it. But look, no delamination. Look down the side right there, folks. Look how slick that is. Look how the stripes look. This looks better than most units do that are 15 years newer. Got a DSI water heater. E350 chassis, which is the biggest you could get back then. Fiberglass roof. I mean, folks, I promise you, you're not going to find and I know this is an older motorhome. You're not going to find a nicer motorhome checked out, ready to go for that price anywhere else. I mean, I've got the air on, the fridge is getting cold, the awning's in great shape. I mean, this is a nice motorhome. Got power steps, got the ride air suspension, which is a brand new thing back in '93. You've got adjustable air suspension, so if you're towing something, it'll work. Folks, the original owners of this motorhome were from Tennessee, and the people we got it from were from Georgia. This has been a Tennessee, Georgia motorhome its entire life. Purchased new in Indiana, of course, back then in the early '90s. There weren't that many RV dealers around. In fact, just about everybody either had to go to Florida in the early '90s or to Indiana where they built these things to buy a new motorhome. They don't have dealers at every street corner like they do today. Look inside. As we step inside, folks, I'm going to tell you, you can't even buy a decent travel trailer for what you can buy this motorhome for. And this thing's completely self-contained with generator. Even the TV, and it's got a darn VCR in it. I've got a movie playing now that's ending. Works. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Front cab, 55,766 miles to be exact. Dash looks great. The seats look great. I mean, it's only got 55,000 miles, folks. You know, and I know that is very low, but, you know, that's about right. I don't think I would personally want a 1993 with much less miles on that. I think I'd rather have enough that it hasn't been used much, but it's been used enough that nothing's dried out, like seals and gaskets. Overhead entertainment center. It's got a little 13-inch TV. Got fluorescent lights in here, which normally didn't see that on a Class C motorhome. Sofa makes a bed. It makes a separate bed from the table, so you can sleep 4 people up here. Now this unit, when it was new, originally was equipped with a duotherm ducted air. Well, sometime over the past 22 years, 23 years I guess now, they've replaced it with a central unit, which this unit's only a few years old. It works great. It's cold. This is a solid little motorhome right here, folks. It's a perfect size, easy to drive. For those of you who are wanting to buy a first RV, this is a great way, and you can see it's blowing cold. I mean, it's blowing into the 30s, folks. The only thing I've got to do to it, and I'm going to show you right here, and I'm going to do this. I've got some panels. I just haven't had a chance to cut them out and put them in here. Is that the little cosmetic panels that go on the front of the refrigerator are missing. No big deal, and I've got those. I'm going to put a couple in there for you. A 4-burner stovetop. You don't hardly see them anymore. Double sink. The microwave works. That's the original microwave. It works great. I tried it earlier. DSI water heater. The fridge is clean. It looks great. Now, folks, I've just had this fridge on. It ought to be able to, it's cold enough that you can tell that it works. Now, I'm going to have to leave this thing on for about 8 hours. But we're 36 degrees in the freezer. So if I left this thing on, it's going to get down to in the 50s in the fridge. But it's just going to take it 4 or 5 hours. And of course, I don't have 4 or 5 hours to wait for it to get to operating temp, because it's already been on about an hour. But it does work, and folks, we're going to go through this motorhome for you. We're going to check it out. We're going to run this fridge on gas electric. We're going to run the generator for several hours. We're going to run the air conditioner for several hours. We're going to put water on it. We're going to check the propane system. We're going to make sure everything works in it, folks. At least all the major systems work. Of course, the TV and VCR works, you can see. Got a split bathroom. And look here, the plastic shower hasn't even really yellowed yet. And look at this, folks. Look at the stickers in there. I bet you this thing hadn't hardly had a shower and all taken in this thing, because those stickers still look brand new. And those stickers, as they get wet and dry, eventually peel off pretty quickly. Look at that original shower door. Got a private water closet. That is a heavy door right there. Big medicine cabinet overhead. You got a Thedford toilet. We'll make sure all that works. We'll make sure all the water system works, no leaks there. Make sure the propane system works, no leaks there. We'll make sure the water heater works, the furnace. Make sure, of course, the air works. But you know, we're going to run it for several hours while we check it out. So that'll double make sure it works. All the lights come on. I've already checked that. I've already checked the air. I've already checked the fridge. I've already checked the generator. It's running, folks. It's doing good. So I mean, you know, this is 713 hours on the generator. That's it, folks. Here in the back, wow, look at this old school privacy. I'm going to tell you something, folks. I've been around RVs for 20 years. I get a kick out of these older motorhomes because they were so simple, but they're built so well, especially a brand like this. But it does have the twin beds in the back. Like I said, they were in their 80s. Both got comfortable mattresses. And the advantage of this twin beds, instead of an island bed, you got room in between the beds to change clothes and get ready in. You've got more storage, lots of cabinets, lots of mini closets. And look around it, folks. I don't see any water damage. Look how thick that rear wall is. I don't know how well you can tell the windowsill, but look how thick. That thing's probably 3 inches thick, maybe more. And look at and you can see by the windows right here, folks, how thick that wall is. These carriages, folks, they didn't build a cheap fifth wheel, and they certainly didn't build a cheap motorhome. I guarantee you, folks, you take care of this motorhome, you keep it serviced and it repairs. When things break on it, repair it. This motorhome will last as long as you want to keep it. It's simple, easy to use. You know, back then these motorhomes weren't near as complicated as they are now. I mean, this is something that if you're a first timer, this is a great chance to buy a nice clean motorhome for less than you're going to spend on a used travel trailer that's self-contained. You got that generator, folks. You can park anywhere. You don't have to go to a campground. You've got power wherever you go thanks to that generator. That's something you don't get with a travel trailer. Plus, you've actually got something you can use while you're driving down the road. I mean, if you've got somebody traveling with you, you're driving, they've got a restroom they can go to, they can brew you a pot of coffee, make you a sandwich, they cook you a 4-course dinner if they've got good enough balance to do it while you're driving down the road without even stopping. I mean, that's what I love about motorhomes. I've owned several motorhomes, folks. I currently own a Class A, and I'm going to tell you, once you go to a driver from towing one, you'll never go back. It's just so convenient having everything on the road with you without even having to stop. I'll tell you something, folks. And I know a lot of you may think this is a high price for 1993. And I know the NADA, you can just throw a rock at it, folks, because of what the NADA says this thing is worth. You couldn't buy the generator and the wheels and tires off of this coach for what it says what the whole RV is worth in the NADA. Let me tell you something about that book on these older motorhomes, folks. You try to buy one of these in an older motorhome in nice condition like this for what the book says it's worth. That book's no good when 3 years later you still haven't found the motorhome you've been looking for and passed up multiple great deals in the meantime. So you can just forget buying one of these. If it's under a 2002 or 2003, that book's useless. It really is. I mean, you can't even, that book shows this thing to be worth less than a 1993 travel trailer. And this is a motorhome, so what's the logic in that? But anyway, folks, this unit is $14,900. That's a haggle-free price, checked out, ready to go. Now, folks, if you do want to haggle price a little bit, if we don't have to check this unit out, and folks, I've already done the hard work for you. I've already got the generator going, I got the fridge, the air going, the lights on. You know all the major, those things work at least, and those are the main things that cost you the most money if they don't work. I've checked the microwave. It's been winterized, so I haven't been able to put water on it. But it's even got a full tank of propane according to the gauge. So, I know a lot of you, especially those like me, you've been around for a while, that haggle-free stuff. So it's kind of a new concept, even though it's been out for several years. And the reason more and more RV dealers are going haggle-free, just like CarMax did for used cars. And it's pretty simple logic when you think about it. RV dealers are competing against thousands of other RV dealers on the internet. Everybody posts their inventory on the internet. Everybody posts prices. If our prices weren't the cheapest, we wouldn't be selling almost 600 used RVs a year. If our prices weren't the cheapest, our phones wouldn't be ringing, our email boxes would be empty, and our lots would be empty. But folks, we've been doing this for 49 years. We know our prices are the best. And I know this is probably a little more than most 93 models are worth, but this is in a whole lot better shape than most 1993 models are worth on the market. And even tell you in the NADA, if you've got an exceptionally clean used unit, it could be worth significantly more than the posted value. And this is definitely one that if you could find 100 1993 Callistos that are still on the road today, this would probably be the top condition one out of that 100, or the top two. And this is something for $14,900. If you get it checked out, ready to go, you don't have to worry about. Just jump in it and go. Now you can take a little less. We can take a little less for it if I don't have to pay my RV techs to check it out. And you've already seen the air work, you've seen the fridge work, you've seen the lights, the generator works. We know that part works. The motorhome's running right now, no check engine lights with 55,000 miles, so not really a concern there. But folks, if you want the discount on this RV, just contact our non-commissioned sales department, and they'll give you an as-is, as-it-sets discount with no checkout, no walkthrough, nothing like that. And it will be a little bit less than $14,900, and you won't have to wait to have it inspected. We don't inspect these things till we sell them, folks. The reason we do that is simple. I've got 170 used RVs, which, by the way, is more than any other dealer in a 500-mile radius of us. If you want to buy a Southeast motorhome from a Southeast dealer, I've got more inventory than anybody in a 500-mile radius of used motorhomes and campers and travel trailers and fifth wheels and toy haulers, all that stuff. I've got something for pretty much everybody's budget. I've got Class C starting at $69.95, and I keep in mind that $69.95 one needs quite a bit of work. This thing right here for $14,900, if you take the $14,900 price, checked out, ready to go, you're going to be so impressed. You're going to feel like you stole it after the first time you use it, because this is a motorhome that you just do not see anymore. Anyway, folks, $14,900, will trade. Now, keep in mind, this is a 1993 model. I'll have to get with my finance guy. I cannot guarantee financing on this thing, folks. In fact, I'm 99% sure, but due to the age of it, the book value, that you're not going to be able to get this RV financed. For those of you who need to finance it, here's what I recommend. Go to your own lending institute, your bank, your credit union, whoever you use your checking and savings with, whoever you normally get loans through. Go in there and apply for a signature, or I call them a signature. I think now they're called personal loans. And see if you can get a personal loan for $15,000. That's going to be the only way you're going to finance a motorhome like this due to the age. Of course, a cash buyer, no problem. If you've got $15,000 cash, you've been looking for a nice low mileage motorhome and just tired of looking at junk, you're going to buy this one when you see it, because this right here is as nice as some of these motorhomes I got that are $30,000 and $35,000, and this will do everything those will do for half price. So, I mean, look at the ceiling panels. There's no watermarks. There's nothing hanging down. I mean, the walls, the floor is solid, no signs of leak damage, no delamination on the outside. The first person that can buy this little motorhome that looks at it will buy it. I mean, I have no doubt about that. Come drive it. Come test drive it. Give us a 24-hour notice, and we'll come out here and crank the generator, have the air and the fridge on, so you can do your own inspection. And then you can decide if you want to pay the $14,900, have us check it out, and come pick it back up in a couple of weeks. Or you may decide to go ahead and take it like it sits without a checkout when you see that you can't find anything that doesn't work on it. I mean, these people that had this thing have owned it for 22 years. And they're a local couple. This hasn't been something from up north that's rusted out. It hasn't been something from down in Florida. I mean, this is the kind of motorhome that people travel to the Southeast to buy. A low mileage Southeast motorhome. $14,900, will trade. Like I said, you'll have to arrange your own financing. If we have any financing available, it's only going to be for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, folks. It's not going to be, you know what you probably want to finance on it. Or we do take trade-ins, and we don't have to trade for an RV. For those of you who are subscribers to my channel, you know I trade for some crazy stuff. I've done some videos on some crazy stuff. I mean, I traded for a hand-built Amish log cabin the other day that I'm selling. I've got one of Dale Earnhardt's race-used rolling chassis over here that I traded for. I've got a Model T golf cart that was $15,000 new that I traded for. I've got cars, trucks, classic cars. I've traded for tools, for tractors, for gold, for silver. If you've got gold and silver bullions and bars, folks, I've traded for a bunch of that over the years, and I'll give you a fair price as trade-in on it. And plus, you get sales tax credit too. Folks, I'm gonna tell you, there's not much that I haven't traded for. If it's got a value to it, and it's something that I can sell as quickly as I sell our motor homes, I will trade for it. If it's a motorcycle, as long as I can get in it to where I can sell it as quick as I sell my motor homes, I'll trade for it. If it's a four-wheeler, SUV, UTV, I traded for a $20-something thousand Razor the other day, a built Razor. Of course, we're keeping that one. That's a toy right there. Folks, guns. You won't believe the guns I've traded for over the years. And yes, folks, it is legal. This isn't a communist country. We can trade for firearms. There's no law against that, okay? Ammo. I've traded for cases of ammunition. I've traded for tractors, lawn equipment, zero-turn mowers. I mean, folks, there's not much I haven't. If I can legally own it, legally sell it, I can trade for it. If I can get a value on it, I'll trade for it. I've traded for local property. And by the way, folks, if you're looking for some property to put a camper on, we've got 2 or 3 places within a 50-mile radius here that we've traded for. Be ideal to put a camper on. And we'll sell it to you cheap too. But anyway, folks, give us a call, 706-965-7929, evenings and Sundays, 423-605-6747. Visit our website, parkwayrvcenter.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification button so you can get a notification every time I post a video. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on, of course, 20 of the most popular for sale websites on the internet, including eBay, RV Trader, RVT, RV Oodle, and many, many other RV websites that we advertise on. So keep in mind, just in the next 24 hours alone, with the amount of websites that I advertise on, thousands of people are going to read the ad. Hundreds of people are going to watch this video in the next 24 hours alone. I'm probably going to have several interested parties in this motorhome. In fact, I've already got a couple of people who we've already made aware of this motorhome that are waiting for this video to come out, and one of them may buy it. You know, we sell almost 600 used units a year because of our prices, folks. We've got over 170 in stock. I've got a lot more than what I've got posted online, because it takes me a while, because I like to go through these things and drive them and crank them up and get everything working on it before I make sure everything works on it before I post it. So, you know, if I didn't have to do all that, folks, I could probably knock out 4 or 5 videos a day. But the way we work and my other responsibilities, I'm lucky to do 1 or 2. But when I go through one and when I advertise it, you can take what I say to the bank, because I've got the generator running. I show you the air's cold, fridge is cold, lights work. I mean, nobody else on the internet does that. And I've watched these other guys too, folks. And some of them do a pretty decent job going over the RV, but they don't get to know it like I do. Folks, I get paid to do videos. I don't get paid to check these things out. What I do it for my viewers that want to buy one sight unseen, because we do sell a couple of 100 RVs a year to people from all across the country that buy sight unseen, and we can arrange nationwide delivery, and they don't know what they bought until it pulls up in their driveway. So, you know, and they trust us enough to buy from us like that. So I'm going to do my best to make these things, to show you as much works on this RV as I possibly can. Anyway, give us a call if you have any questions. 706-965-7929. After hours, you can call 423-605-6747. Our website's parkwayrvcenter.com or .net. They're both mobile friendly. Email us sales@parkwayrvcenter.com. We do greatly prefer phone calls over emails. And the reason being is we don't use non-commissioned salespeople. So I can't afford to hire 20 or 30 salespeople like most lots my size employ. I have 4 non-commissioned, salary-based salespeople that get paid the same whether you buy one from us or not. 4, and do the math, folks, 4 salespeople selling almost 6. We sold 592 RVs last year. Divide that into 4. These guys don't have a lot of free time. They don't have a lot of free time to sit behind a computer emailing back and forth. You can learn more in a 10-minute phone conversation than you can in 2 hours emailing back and forth. So these guys are always working several buyers, several deals at the same time. A lot of times more than one buyer on the same unit. The first one to pay a deposit gets it. So give us a call for faster response and email, because it may be a 48-hour delay on an email, and during that 48 hours another buyer could call, leave a deposit with a credit card, and it's theirs. I don't hold nothing for nobody without money, folks. That's because we're a high volume dealer. Thank you for watching my video, folks. If you have any questions, call us, email us. We're haggle free, so you don't have to worry about that. We're fair. We have no extra fees, no dock fees, no prep fees. The only thing you pay is sales tax if you're a Georgia resident, since we are a licensed, bonded, and insured RV dealer, the oldest one in the state of Georgia by several years. So, you know, that does make us an authorized sales tax collector for the state of Georgia. All out-of-state residents will pay your state's sales tax rate when you tag and title this motorhome at your local DMV office. You get a 45-day temp tag, a starter kit, and more. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you soon in beautiful Ringgold, Georgia.